The first order of business, I think, is to tell you a little bit about our team and kind of where we are right now. This morning, we got some news. One of our starting corners, Artie Burns' mom passed away this morning. Obviously, it hit our team and our kids pretty hard. She's always been awesome with all of our guys. She's opened our home and fed a lot of our kids from out of state and different places like that. She's had several of them at our home at a time. So it obviously impacted them in consideration for Artie, and it impacted all of us, as Artie is a very important piece to our program here and what his mom's done for us and our family. She really became a part of the Hurricane family. So our prayers and our thoughts go out to him and his family. So you take that and you put it on top of the last 4 days, which has been kind of rough for our program and for our young people, which at the end of the day, for all of us, that's all that it's about. It's the young men in this program. And I kind of challenged the coaches when we got this whole thing started, and I was given the title of interim head coach, that to really tap into some of the reasons why you choose to be a coach. Because that's what it's going to take right now. It's going to be far more than the X's and the O's and getting things from a standpoint corrected football-wise. It's going to be about being able to mentor and reach these young men and help them and guide them through a rough period in their lives. Anytime you have a person come into your home and recruit you, bring you in, offer you an opportunity at a great education here at the University of Miami, and to put you around really good people that are going to help develop you not only on the field but in the classroom, and to have that, to have a change in that area. Of course, it's rough. They're young people. They're young men. They have attachments. They get attached to people. They get attached to the things that they need and feel like they're getting on a daily basis from people who are trying to impact their lives. So obviously that was tough. So that's what we've been dealing with over the last 4 days. And the thing about it is we don't want to get too far away from the human element of what that's all about. We can skip right straight to fixing the problems and fixing the issues in football, which obviously we have to get to with having Duke here on Saturday night. But first we needed to make sure we reach them on that level and make sure we get them back in the boat and get them back all in and try to get their mindsets back focused into winning football games. But a part of that is reaching the person first. If you don't reach the person first and you don't have the player, obviously all that stuff is for naught. So that's been our challenge. That's what we've been attacking. I was very pleased with the way the guys came in this morning. We knew it was going to be hard because we delivered the news to them in a team meeting this morning right before we got into the football part of it. So obviously there was another range of emotions. And the last 2 times we sat in that room all together, it's been a very emotional time. So, but I was pleased with the way that they proceeded about the business of going to meetings. Obviously we still had some guys that we had to help work through it, which is a part of it. But they attacked the information, they received it, they took good notes, and as we worked through the morning, they were able to dial in more and more as we worked through it. So the meetings were really good, they were sharp, everything was on time. We got out on the field and they really got back out on the grass, and I think a lot of that helps to heal as well, is when you get back out. And then I was telling the guys, hey man, it's like getting back out on the on the playground. It's kind of like recess, right? You kind of get back outside and you let it loose and you get going, and you get back into doing the things you've been doing since you were 4 years old, 7 years old. You put on pads for the first time and you just started playing football, because that's the environment, and that's what we want to create for those guys right now, and an atmosphere of getting back to really enjoying what we do and how we do it. And a part of that too, though, the biggest piece of that is to make sure that we have them and we have a human connection, and we have that connection going with them in order for them to take the step that we need to take, obviously, towards making sure we reach our goal. Every team that's a part of a conference and a part of a division has a goal, and our goal was to win the Coastal. And today was a step that we took towards that, as we entered this 5-game coastal stretch. But we had some things we had to take care of first, and we're always going to take care of family. We're going to take care of home first. So I'll open it up if you guys have any questions about where we are.
Larry, Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press. First off, I don't know if it's appropriate to say congratulations or not, but 2 questions, if I may. One, when do you expect a determination on Brad's status? And secondly, you spoke on Hotline last night about wanting, and you alluded to it just now too, about really getting at the players' heartstrings. And then, then the news about Artie's mom, of course, is can this team take any more? I mean, you guys have talked all along about how adversity steals you, about how to embrace it, that sort of thing. But when you talk about adversity, you didn't mean 72 hours like this. How much more can this team really take?
It's that's always a tough question. We got to ask ourselves when things happen in our lives, how much can we take? And things of that magnitude. I mean, you mix in taking a mentor away, a guy that we had to change and who they were used to having as a head coach, and then you mix in death with that as well. That's a twofold combination now. That's a tough combination. So all I know is that we're going to go about it every day. We're going to go about it every day, and hopefully every hour, every minute, every time that we're around them, every time we can reach out to them, we can help pull them closer and closer to healing. Through that, we know it's going to be a process, and that's the thing, Tim. We don't want to make this seem like it's going to be some magical potion that we're just going to be able to throw out there and give them some gimmick words or something like that that's going to make them heal. Time heals, and then having people around you that really genuinely care about you, the person first, can help with that, can aid with that, and that's why I started this thing out with the challenge to our coaches was, hey guys, man, we got to make sure that we go reach these guys at another level today. We got to make sure that we're tapping into some of the things of why you do what you do. I know, we all have families and things like that too, but right now the most important thing to us is this team, is this program, are these young men, their families, and our families. So let's make sure that that's the justification and the reason for going to work today, nothing else. If we do that first, I truly believe in my heart the way I've always done things is that'll always take care of the other things as long as you can, you take care of the human, you take care of the person first. It's kind of one of those things. You show me a good football player, I'll show you a good person first.
Coach, you mentioned tapping into the humanity, getting back to that feeling that these kids had at recess and while they fell in love with the game. Do you feel the program maybe has gotten away from that a little bit and you want to reinstill that now?
You know what? I don't want to kind of, talk about what was in a sense. We're trying to move this thing, forward in that aspect. And I think it's important that is the central point of it all, because isn't the game supposed to be fun? Don't you supposed to have fun playing a game that you love? I mean, obviously, you got to love it. You have to have love for this game, and so therefore things like passion and emotion and all of that stuff, it pours out of you when you're playing something or doing something that you really enjoy doing. So yeah, that's a huge piece to what we're trying to do right now, and I know that's going to take time. That's going to take time, especially with everything on top of everything that they've gone through, to fight through those emotions. It's been emotional. And you're talking about two extremes, right? You're talking about an extreme of a low to you're trying to get them to be as high and energetic as you can, and it's going to take some work. But you know what? They got to feed off of you. We got to bring it every day, and we got to understand that we do what we love to do, and so it's got to pour out of us too. It's got to pour out of you. It's got to come all. They got to see it, and it's got to be real. It's got to be genuine, and those things like that. So yeah, of course, and that's what you got to get to, and I think that's where passionate play on the football field starts with. It starts with the human emotion. You got to love what you're doing to do it. And so we got to create an atmosphere of guys that are disciplined, smart, but having fun. Having fun, because football's a hard sport. Football's a hard sport. Being a student athlete is tough. With their schedules and football and treatment schedules and tutoring sessions and then football. But you're still in all of that. When you go to play football, we're going to have fun. That's the fun part of it. You do all of those things to get to the grass, and let's go have fun.
Yeah, Larry, this is Christopher Stock with InsideTheU.com. You touched on a little bit about having fun, but as interim head coach, what are some other changes that you're going to implement in the team, to affect the results and obviously not have the results that you guys had on Saturday?
You know, the first thing I would say is just you know, Saturday. Obviously, Saturday was very difficult. It was difficult for all of us and for a lot of reasons. So when you talk about change as far as what you have to change, I think change starts with each of us individually. As long as we are different and in an aspect of what they get and what they receive from us. Young people are very impressionable. They're very impressionable. So I think if you come in with the right mindset, the right attitude, change as far as how you define it can be defined a million different ways. Change could be the way that I came in and I have a little bit better, more pep in my step today. Guess what they do? They react to that. You know, change could be I walk in and I'm pounding the desk and I'm gritty and a lot of them are sitting in there going, man, what is wrong with him? And then some of them are sitting on the edge of their seats about to jump out of the seat. You know what I mean? So I think that change is relative, and I think what I want to do is just make sure that everything is a positive, fast-moving, very, you know, forthright, honest, pure, genuine emotion every day of what we're doing. I think football is a real sport, and it takes real emotion and it takes real passion to motivate young people to sometimes do things they don't want to do. So when you talk about change, I think change is going to start with it starts with me obviously now, and then it starts with our staff and everybody that's going to touch our young men, because that again, man, that's a relative term, and they'll feed off of whatever you're giving them.
Larry, Matt Porter, Palm Beach Post. On a little more kind of game preparation level, where is Brad right now? What is he able to do? And then how are you preparing going forward with Malik and any other kind of options in that regard?
Yeah, you know, one of the best things I admire about Coach Coley has always been his ability to teach. And he teaches every one of those guys in the room like they're the guy. So that's an awesome thing. Obviously, our doctors and you know, concussion protocols and all those things are being handled by our team and our medical team. So they're the experts at that. So we're following their lead with that, and we're going to do exactly what, you know, they want us to do with Brad as far as that's concerned. Brad's a very smart individual, very smart person. He's also got an unbelievable work ethic. So he's doing the things that I'm sure that he needs to do to make sure he's prepared for this game. He will be prepared. However, we're going to follow the protocol and do the right things that our medical team will have us to do. As far as Malik goes, Malik's really attacked this thing. We've been happy with his attitude and his mindset. Again, he's feeding off the energy that is coming from Coach Coley, and he's feeding off of the energy even in these times that we're bringing to the building every day. And he's preparing. He's in watching film. He's leading. He's in the middle of it all. He really wants to do well. He really wants to be able to carry, you know, if we call his number, he wants to be able to go out and produce and do the things that we do with Brad, not miss a beat and keep it going. And then, you know, with the situation with the other two guys, they both received reps today. They did a tremendous job, I thought, of you know, picking up where we are with the offense and the game planning. We went right at it. We went right at it right away. You know, everything we did from the time from 4 days ago has been attacking. We got to attack game planning. We got to attack various areas of the program and do it with energy and do it with passion. So they're feeling that, and they're all preparing and moving forward to, you know, if their number's called, I think they'll be ready.
Larry, Christy Chirinos here from the Sun Sentinel. Just wanted to get back to this morning. You talked about just how the kids needed to get out there and have recess. Did you start to see as practice went on that was what they needed to just, you know, Dion talked about feeling the grass under his feet, things like that as well. How much did you see that they needed that as practice developed and went on?
Be honest, Chris, that helped me, because you hope that's the feeling that they get, because you remember as a player that's really what it was. If you had a lull, you had some things go on, and you're in the meeting rooms, you just couldn't wait to get outside. It's about just getting back on the grass and getting my feet back under me, and you know, that first hit and that first steal. So it was great to see that started to happen. You started to see the energy and the passion level pick up. You know, a couple little shoves and a couple things after that, which I thought was good in the spirit, and it was good for those guys. You saw the passion, you saw the energy, and that made you feel really, really good about, you know, today, considering everything that they've been through. It made you walk away and kind of smile and say, you know what, we got a chance. We got a chance to push through this thing, and we just got to continue to attack it, you know, every day, every minute, every hour, and every opportunity we get to be in front of them, we need to make sure we got that kind of juice and that kind of energy for these young people. Again, it's about them. It's all about them.
Coach Scott, Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald. Did you and Blake James jointly decide that there wouldn't be any additional staff changes, or was that entirely your decision? And why did you decide to stick with this current staff and not make any adjustments?
Barry, again, everything, some of the conversations that Blake and I or Jen and I had is it's kind of between us, because we're all about trying to just do the right things for these young men and for these young people. So right now, they've kind of left a lot of those things to me, and it's kind of one of those deals where we're going to do what's best for the kids right now with everything with everything, and everything's got to be taken into consideration, everything, top to bottom. So that's going to be the approach. That's going to be the style. Everything's going to always be taken into consideration. With that kind of deal. Right now, it's about Duke. Right now, it's about moving forward and what's the best way and the fastest way to track that towards getting ready for Duke.
Coach Andrea Brody from Local 10 News. Everywhere you look, everything you hear, people are talking about who the next coach is going to be, even odds out, as if it's a foregone conclusion. Is that your mindset, and how eager are you to show everyone that they shouldn't be so quick to overlook you?
You know what? That's funny, because it's not about me. It's really not about that. When this opportunity was presented to me, it was like, yeah, let's go to work. But for me, it was about the kids. It's about the guys that I'm in the room with every day working with. And we owe them an opportunity. That's what it was all about. It's just about here, right now, and all those other things will take care of themselves. They always do, regardless of how much you may want something. It's about them. And if you make it about them, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. No matter how it works out, no matter how it shakes out, it's about the kids. And you can walk away with your head high, or you can do whatever you need to do because you did right by the young people that you were around. We've recruited some of these people. We know their parents. We sat in their living rooms, and we've ate some of their dinners. So you know them. They become an extension of your family, an extension of your kids. So absolutely, it was right then. It was all about just what can we do to help them through this? What can we do to help them reach their goal of winning the Coastal? And that's been that's been my only focus. That's it.
Last question.
Larry, Tim Reynolds of the AP again. The perception last year, and even shared after the fact by players, was that after Florida State last year, all the air was out of the balloon, and some guys used the word quit. And what they've gone through in the last 3 days is obviously far harder than losing a football game. How do you avoid falling into that hole again and having this team stray from what you guys have called the main thing? How do you avoid that collapse like you had last year?
I think it comes down to one thing: relationships. It comes down to being able to because of the relationship you have, you're able to mentor them through tough times, and letting them know that adversity is around every corner. Just as sure as you're walking, breathing, and living in this world, change and adversity is going to be a part of everything, and it's going to be all around you, and it's going to be ever present in your life. And being able to understand how to learn and develop to handle that situation, to overcome that situation, is key. So since that time, and I think a lot of our responsibility is to always make sure we're adding those life lessons and adding that element of adversity and change into our everyday teaching, into our everyday style, so that when those things do hit, they're prepared for it. They know it's coming. They're prepared for it, and they have the will, and they know how to fight through it. And I think that's just what it is. It's the human element of it. It's all about being able to take them places because of your relationship with them that they can't take themselves. And that's mentoring. That's being a really good teacher. And I think that's what I know I'm adamant about attacking, and what we're going to be after here through this deal is that first and foremost. We have a system, we have a scheme, we have those things in place. What we got to make sure is that we have their hearts and we have their minds, and we can overcome anything as long as they stay together. And I think this group will.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you coming.